My Hero Academia, Chapter 203, titled Flexible, Juzo Honenuki, begins with Endeavor, having had a epiphany and a new lease on life, continuing to try to contact Shoto as he is trying to, express and just get out this technique that he feels that Shoto should be able to do now. He's like, it took a while in order to get your number from your sister, from Fuyumi. It took a lot of time and effort, and now you just leave me on read all the time. He sounds like a jilted ex-lover. However, he wants to pass on this technique that, Toya was able to do, but ultimately he wasn't able to, because of his weaker constitution, he wasn't fully able to do it. But Shoto, with his half hot and half cold ability, he'd be able to withstand and execute this powerful technique. However, you know, he's left very jilted and emotional over the whole situation, as he just wants to bond with his son, which most people are just like, you know, too late for that, old man. You had your chance. You ain't no dad. Moving on. So we get back to the main event, Class 1A, Classes 1B, and we get to know a little bit more of the ever flexible Juzo Honenuki. And that's the dude with the zombie looking appearance with the exposed teeth and the no lips and stuff like that. He looks so different in his actual outfit. He looks like a young all for one, honestly, which, is not something you want to be associated with, but that's just me. And he pretty much correctly predicts a lot of the ways that class 1A goes, where they use shoji as a bit of a scout, observing the situation, and then he says that Todoroki will come in with a powerful attack, after they get a pinpoint on their location. And sure enough, after Shoji, as well as Ojiro, kind of figure out where the other team is, Todoroki sends out this massive blast of ice, which it's even noted that by Tetsu that it's like they did it, but they also did it in order not to decrease their range of visibility, so that Class 1B could use this ice in order to go around and surprise attack them or anything. And I love the comment from Mineta, who basically just says that that is in fact Shoto's go-to move, just massive ice, just like what you gonna do when the Iceman comes for you, and he just sends out this massive blast, and everyone, the other members of the team, go a little bit into hiding just to see if they could get a vantage on it, and thus we have Ida come in, using this opportunity from all of them being frozen to go in, try to capture them, and send them off to jail. With Tetsu just being like, "Yo, bring it on, bro! Bring it on!" However, the ice suddenly immensely starts to soften, and we come to find out that, well, you already knew this if you had seen anything from the sports festival arc, but Juzo's ability is to soften anything he touches. The very inverse of the one dude from Ketsubutsu Academy from the provisional license exam who was able to harden things that he touched, which is perverted in all manner of ways, but we're not going to go into that right now. But he's all like, just one ice blast, dude, cheap, nothing, and he just completely starts melting all of the ice that Todoroki sent out. And we then get Juzo's hero name, Mudman, you know, which is awesome, very cool. And we even have Sen commenting on the fact that Juzo is the most flexible. He knows how to work around an issue, whereas Kendo is very strategic in her thoughts. Juzo just goes with the flow. He's very malleable in all things that he does. which I already love the dude's look, but his personality and the way he thinks and the way he acts, you know massive brownie points from me. Officially one of my most favorite characters out of class 1B. And he even had the forethought to just start softening various parts of the arena, which Ojiro finds out the bad way, the worst way, when he tries to land on a pipe and it just starts falling out from under him. You know, and so Ojiro, taken off guard, is suddenly set upon by Senkaibara, whose ability is freaking drills that will pierce the heavens, and his hands just start rotating like drills, and he goes in on Ojiro, who's just like, it's a drill versus a tail, even if it's a meat drill, which again sexual, but even if it's skin on skin, rotating skin, and stationary skin, it's the rotating one's probably gonna have an easier time breaking through Ojiro's defenses. And even Ida, who just can't get a good footing, and Juzo's just like, you know he softens all the ground around Ida, because he's just like, look, you'll be the worst pain in the ass out of all of them because you're too quick. So best to just kind of put you in the ground and seal it around you so you're just out of the way. And he just leaves Ida like that in order to, just get him out of the way. And Ida's just like playing up to the whole situation, being like, oh, curse you, vile villain! Which I freaking love. Ida always getting caught up in the moment. And then we find out the ability of Pony Tsunotori's ability, which when I first heard it, horn cannon, I'm just like, okay, is that just that she runs into you with her horns or something? Like, it can't be an actual horn cannon, can it? And sure, I at least thought she like fired off energy projectiles or something. But sure enough, it's an actual horn cannon. She fires off her horns and she's able to mentally remote control them. And she uses this ability to capture Shoji, since you know, Juzo was able to figure out that more than likely Sojo would be hiding behind Shoto in order to, keep from being captured, because he's their biggest chance at eyes and ears on the whole situation. And we come to find out that Pony Tsunotori's ability is, to send off these flying mentally remote controlled horns. She can send out about four at once, and she's only able to do this with enough carotene consumption, which is very interesting. And she controls them just by like putting her fingers to her head and putting them up like horns. So she's able to just fire out these horns, which is very surreal. It's just really interesting. And she even uses them in order to propel Tetsu, forward through Shoto Todoroki's ice, so he can grapple him, because Todoroki isn't that great at hand-to-hand combat. He's all about the long distance. Now, so we get this nice little aside from Kirishima and Kaminari that is just like, man, these guys are going in hard and strong. Go in, take them down quickly as possible, counter them at every turn. And, that's what I'm actually loving about this whole situation with Class 1B. It shows how, just how capable at countering Class 1A they really are. Showing, like, why they were all just kind of split the way they were, because you have an even distribution of people who can counter each other. So it's a very interesting setup. And I just really love some of these guys' abilities. It's just like, drill that pierces the heavens, I turn into metal, I fire off these remote controlled projectiles, and I soften all things, and once I release my touch, they harden again. So it's just like, you can entrap anyone with that ability, and it is so cool. I love Juzo. Juzo is friggin' awesome. And he's just like, yep, okay, Ida, now you and your team are done. That's it. I'm going to back up Tetsu Tetsu. And, Ida's just like, he starts just boasting off. It's just like, hey, Ingenium will always rush to the scene anywhere, anytime. I will always go full throttle. And he just bursts through the ice, using this move called Recipro Turbo. And he just comes revving up out of the ice, which is so cool. I love that final scene of Ida just bursting through the ice. And I'm hoping this might actually be an improvement he made to his costume, because, he had this whole thing of not being able to, once his boosters on his legs were out, that was the end. So I'm hoping he found a way to either redirect or had some equipment made to the point where he'd be able to just have, boost it from his arms, from his back, to give him a bit of an extra boost of speed, because that's what support items are all about. Just a little extra uh, boosts in order to get you through things. So that's where the chapter ends, but we have, just like last time, an extra bonus chapter, which is all about the crazy waifu Himike Toga, who's just interested in nothing but stabbing and murdering, where she, has a little moment with Kuragiri where she wonders if stabbing him will produce blood or some kind of black mist or something. Very interesting situation. And one where she's talking things over with Twice, where it's just like she's talking about fashion and how she wants to wear more girly stuff, and even when she's kind of complimented by Twice, she's just like, hey, mind if I stab you? Like, the girl is off a rocker. And even this note she wants to write to Stain, where it sounds more like a death threat than a love letter. So a little bit of quirkiness from Himiki Toga, which is good to have, since in the manga it's been a while since we've seen her last. So just keeping that popular character popularity alive and well. But overall, a very fun chapter. I know a lot of people are kind of down on Class 1B because they feel like, a lot of things are being done in order to keep the whole situation even. But at the same time, a lot of people need to understand that should be how it is. The whole idea is, Class 1B was one of the best around, but I mean, Class 1A is one of the best around, and they get a lot of notoriety and popularity. But, Class 1B isn't a slouch either, because they've, in a lot of situations shown that they're just as capable as Class 1A. If anything else, the major downside that they've had is that they haven't been involved in as many life or death situations, but that doesn't mean they're not capable of, applying and using their quirks in a similar manner to Class 1A. Just because you've had a good amount of, overall world experience doesn't mean that they're like the pros or the best of the best of the best of the best. They're still students just like Class 1B who have been going through the lessons proper and learning things the proper UA way. So that's showing that it's UA's normal way of doing things is just as good as real life experience, which is a very fundamental thing you should take note of. There's no, oh, Class 1A should be dominating them at every turn. It's just like, no, this series has shown that even the most mundane of ability can be insanely capable and powerful if applied correctly. This isn't, and I will harp on this to the day, this isn't X-Men, where, if you have a lame ability, you are automatically lame and incapable of making that ability something interesting. You gotta think about it, people. Spider-Man can crawl on walls and predict things ahead of time, has a little bit of super strength. That isn't a actual, incredibly overpowered ability. It's fairly okay, but it's his ingenuity, the gadgets he creates, his web spinners, all that kind of stuff that makes him a phenomenal hero. So it's just like support items and good thinking and ingenuity win the day and the hearts of millions. But hey, tell me your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you think about Class 1B's various abilities? You know, which of them is your favorite up until this point? And are you looking to see them dominate over Class 1A, or are you looking for 1A to take these scrubs down a notch? If you liked my video, leave me a like, and if you didn't, leave me a dislike and tell me what I'm doing wrong, and subscribe for more chapter reviews of My Hero Academia. Thanks for joining me.